inside of my mind, in hopes that I can see them. I pray that I can reach.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite girl Awuli. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber. I live in Kyiv, Ukraine. If you're new here, you're welcome. Welcome to my channel. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you for your love and support. And please guys, if you're always coming back and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, why have you not joined the family? Click the subscribe button. It is the button there. You see subscribe on it. It is red. Just click on it and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. So guys, this video is inspired by a few mails I've been getting on my email and a few messages I've been getting on Instagram saying that they've been scammed by immigration agents or student visa agents to come to Ukraine. So guys, I'm just going to run through the process of getting a visa while coming to Ukraine, like a student visa while coming to Ukraine. And I'll tell you a few stories where people have been saying that they've been getting scammed, and I'll explain to you why people actually get scammed coming to Ukraine. So first of all, I'll just go why people actually get scammed while coming to Ukraine. The reason why a few people have been getting scammed, not just a few people, a lot of people have been getting scammed coming to Ukraine, is because Ukraine is not an English speaking country. They basically speak Russian and Ukrainian here, so a few people speak English. So I think this is the reason why people have been getting scammed, because you can actually reach out to school directly and say you want to come here to study, you want a student invitation, and basically everything you need to do in the country, like buy a car, you need an agent. To get an apartment, you need an agent. To come to school here, you need an agent. So this is the reason why a few people, why do I keep saying a few people? A lot of people have been getting scammed coming to Ukraine. So I'm just going to run through the process of getting a study visa to come to Ukraine. So basically, if you want to come to Ukraine to study, you actually need your student documents, that's your WIEC. You need secondary school testimonial and an international passport. So this agent has to take this document to the school and say, okay, I have a friend or a family friend or basically a student that wants to come here to school. So this school will have to run through your documents through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They have to submit this document to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will say, okay, this document, your WIEC, your secondary school testimonial and your international passport is fit for this student to get admitted to this university. So when you get admitted to this university, this agent will have to get like a COVID insurance for you and send these documents to Nigeria, whereby you will now have to prepare your other documents like bank statement and actually go for the visa interview. So if your visa is granted, then this agent will also have to prepare a pickup letter for you and tell you one or two things you have to bring where you're coming. If you didn't watch my last video, you can just watch it and see the things to buy where you're coming to Kyiv, Ukraine. So I'll just leave a link here, maybe so you can just click on it and watch when you're done with this video. So I'm just going to share a story of somebody. Let me just try to open it. And he was just like narrating to me what this agent is asking him to pay for. And I told him that basically this money is a lot of money. So this guy is not actually based in Nigeria, but he's actually a Nigerian, and he has gotten his visa, and he said he has paid his school fees, but he doesn't think they actually paid his school fees for him because they're still asking for a lot of money. So he sent me a screenshot of like this. If you can see, send me a screenshot, and then I'm just going to read what it says. It says, to whom it may concern, we hereby confirm that this university has given the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria so and so name with this birth, date of birth and this national passport number, this an admission to this university. They stated the cost there and the academic year, and they stated the tuition fee, the hostel fee, and additional fees include medical insurance, document translation, and all of that. So this right here, what I have a problem with here is the medical insurance. Like, things are not expensive in Kyiv, Ukraine. Like, things are not expensive. You can get a medical insurance for as low as I think maybe $100, $200, but this person is putting as high as $2,000 to get this document. And then this person sent me this email and told me all of this and telling me that he has also paid about $6,000 to this person. He doesn't know what to do. He's confused. This is just one story. And then I'm going to read the second one. If you can see here on Instagram. So this person is telling me that, oh, they said he should pay Ukraine legalization fee. For this legalization, it can actually be done in Nigeria. I think it's about 70 to 100k, maybe 50 to 100k, like thereabout, to do this legalization. And then this person here stated that the school fees was actually the correct fee. Then he said medical insurance for $500, which is not so, like, it's not supposed to be up to this amount for only medical insurance. And then they went on to say, okay, our company service charge and pick up airport letter and all of that cost so and so amount, which is actually very ridiculous for me. So then he now said that after this company service charge, then they have to pay him particularly for his own service charge, and he stated the amount there also. So what I'm trying to say is that if you want to come to Ukraine, I'd rather you look for a reputable company, or you look for somebody that you can reach out to and say, okay, I'm coming to Ukraine, can you put me through? Basically, I don't have an issue with somebody telling you that, okay, I'm going to arrange all documents for you and everything, and this is the amount you're going to pay me. I don't have an issue with it. I'm just going to say something. I remember my brother going to school. Like, Michael went to school the other day, and he said he met a guy there. The guy said he spent about $6,000 for his school fees, and the money he brought into the country was about $3,000, and that this agent came to the airport to pick him up, and this agent collected this $3,000 and left him with only $100. That means he spent about $8,900 immigrating to Ukraine for a student visa. And then I'm like, this money is too much. It's actually too much, because the situation of Nigeria right now is not, and they know that a lot of people are desperate to leave the country. They actually know that a lot of people are desperate, so they just prey on this desperation, and they tell you that, okay, this is the amount of things, and then a lot of people fall victim and just pay for this school fees or everything. I think this situation about this $8,900 guy is actually even better. Some people, they come here and then these agents take their money and they don't even get to see this agent again. Like, their school fees is not paid, nothing is not paid, and then they become very illegal in the country. Like, they don't have post visa, they don't have do visa, that's like your temporary residence. They don't have address registration. They're just walking up and down the country with their bags. Like, this is bad. This is very bad. Like, and I feel that a lot of people, they don't want to like make inquiries. They don't want to, like, I know like immigrating to another country is very difficult. It's very, very difficult to prepare all your documents by yourself, but like, try as much as possible to make inquiries before like trusting, and let it be somebody that you know that this person can be held accountable. Like, for me, basically, I rather like this person is in Nigeria, the person preparing your documents for you is probably in Nigeria, because like, so that even if the person is in Ukraine, be able to sign like a document with a lawyer, with maybe a family friend of this person, or the mother or the father of this person in Nigeria. So I'd rather you sign a document stating that, okay, if my money doesn't come back, is you are coming to arrest. So you weigh your options. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Just try as much as possible to weigh your options. And then a lot of people will say, I paid this agent for my school fees, and then I came to Kyiv, Ukraine, and my school fees was not paid. For me, I think that all students coming to the country should hold their school fees. Like, hold it personally. Hold it by yourself when you're coming to Kyiv, Ukraine. And then you can now go with this agent to this school to pay your school fees. But don't pay your school fees from Nigeria. This place is not US. It's not Canada. If you don't pay your school fees from Nigeria, nobody will hold you. Nobody will arrest you. So you can come to the country and decide to pay your school fees with your agent. So you don't have to pay it from Nigeria. So I hope like these few things that I've shared, like, you've become enlightened about like migrating to Kyiv, coming here for a student visa. Ask as much questions as possible. Be sure, like, do your research on Google. Ask Google, I'm going to this place. Ask questions. And then you can also reach out. Like, a lot of you reach out to me on Instagram, on YouTube, here on emails. I'm like, if I am not so busy, I am willing to answer a lot of questions. Like a lot of you know, like people that reach out to me on Instagram or YouTube, I always reply back. Except I didn't see your email, or I didn't see your Instagram mail message, or I didn't see maybe the comments on the comment section. Maybe I missed a comment, but I always reply. So try as much as possible to reach out to people here. If you have friends, if you have family here, just reach out and ask questions before trusting people with your own money. I hope this video has been very helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. Thank you so much. Bye.